Hey, Brian from Garage Wall. Today I have this high power adjustable rainfall humidifier, and with my friend back here, we're going to help demonstrate how this works. This is great for like a reptile cage, terrarium, anything where you need to like mist, even like plants in the terrarium. But I figured I'd just like use the open space and we go from there. All right, so in the box, you get your directions, and I've actually already opened this. As you can tell, like I couldn't quite put everything back together the right way, but that is your power cord, and it's the 5-volt C connector, so you can connect it to any like USB block or whatever you have laying around. So these are your misters, and tubing cutter actually comes in here as well. Then you have some suction cups to hold the misters in place on the side of your terrarium. And then this is going to be the humidifier itself. And like I said, I did have this open before, so I'll open that up. And it holds up to 5 liters of water. And to give you an idea of how this works, so it has a telescoping top to it. So you're lifting up on this, and this is going to be your water bladder. So it comes up, pops up like that, and it has this actually took me, it was a little tricky for me to figure it out. It actually has a notch in here, and if you can tell at the bottom, it has these 2 sensors. So it has the 2 power sensors here at the bottom as well. So you kind of like line those 2 pieces up, and then you'll kind of sit down, and you'll kind of hear it like click into place. And then let me set this so you can get the overhead on it. So this top, you spin it counterclockwise just a little, not too much, otherwise you can break the clips on it. But that's what the bottom part looks like. And then you have your tubing that's in here. And like I said, it has some water in it because I was using it before. So that is your top line. And then you have your bottom line, and it has like, kind of hard to see with my hands in the way here, but it kind of has this weighted filter to it. It's a little brass filter, and you want to make sure that you clip it here at the bottom, so when you add the water in, that it's at its lowest point. So I'm just going to use a bottle of water for now, and we're going to fill it up, and you can tell how I have the entire piece fully submerged underneath there. So, and then the water's going to come out through the top here. You have another cutout notch here, so that's where that nozzle is going to go. And it's a push to fit. So basically what you're doing is you're pushing that in, and then it's going to lock into place. And if you ever had to remove that, you basically just push up on this piece right here, and then you can slide that out, readjust it, clean it, whatever you have to. So we're going to put that piece here at the bottom, and then we are going to put the lid on. And then hopefully I'll be able to line these pieces back up again as best as I can anyway. Okay, there we go. And then just kind of like a little bit of a turn clockwise, and that's all you need to lock it in place. So you have plenty of tubing to be able to use in here. So we're just going to pull out some length. And again, this is not going to be the right setup because you're going to be setting this up in an aquarium. And I just could not get stuff set up right, lighting and everything else. So we're just going to use it here as an example, but you'll get a really good idea of how it works. So this is the power cord, which plugs into the back here. So let me see if I can't angle that a little bit better. I know it's filled with water, but you have your C plug back in here. And then here in front, that is your power button. And I don't want to turn it on yet because I'm going to have water shooting out of the top of this thing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get some length of this tubing out of the way here. So you're basically pushing the tubing in the top, and same thing. Push it until you feel it set, and then if you push down on those little tabs on the side, you can release it. So see how it's nice and locked now? Okay, so here is the tubing on this end. And in this little kit, you get a whole bunch of different pieces. So you get a bunch of misters, and then that is your end plug, and then that is your little tubing cutter. So if you're going to use this, you basically put your tubing in here, push up on it, and it'll cut right through the tubing like butter. This also on the other end, that is the tool that you use to kind of get in here to lift up on your tubing. But again, I just, you know, I push down with my hands, lift up on it. It's just as easy. So let's get one of these misters ready. And I'm gonna put the plug in the back. So push it all the way in, and the same thing, it has that little connector piece in there. And if you get your fingers around, you can push down on it to release that plug. Or again, you can use this tool to push down and then easily release that as well. So that is going to be our end and our starting piece. And if you were looking to connect a whole bunch of these, you just basically just keep cutting the tubing to length, and then we're going to connect it on that side, and that's going to be our little mister head. So if you were going to be mounting this in an aquarium, you can use these little suction cup pieces that you can slide around like your tubing piece, and then that will hold. Again, let me just separate this so you can put the tubing through this little suction cup, and that'll hold right to the side of your aquarium. And then you put your mister piece back inside here. All right, so we're going to hold this over here, and we're going to see what kind of mist this thing produces. So you have a couple different settings on here as well. And like I said, this is going to be the power button here. And so you can kind of hear it working. And then it's going to have that little mist sprayer coming here in a second. The water's got to travel all the way through the tubing. But I don't know if you can kind of see that. Kind of hard to see off film. And then it's going to have a couple hiccups as it gets some water bubbles out of the line. Or if I was going to mount this, I can mount it over here like a little bit of a stake to go through. All right, so I don't know if you can see that, but that is misting pretty good over a little guy. So if you had a setup in a terrarium, you could adjust the settings by basically just hitting the buttons, and you can, I'm going to put that down on 1, and it's misting, but it's like barely coming out, just to kind of give you an idea of, you can kind of see that control panel. Okay. So then again, if you want to increase, you just hit that button on the side. And then you can increase. So I kind of like mounted in a branch there, so I don't get water all over the studio, but you have a couple different settings. Like I said, you can, that's like 10, and hopefully you can hear that. That's water's rushing out pretty good. And then you can back it down. And then you have a bunch of different settings on here that you can, how many cycles, everything else. So what a great system if you have a terrarium, especially if you like me have some plants. I'm gonna probably actually hook this up with a stake on top, and then have it like mist down into this. But great for a terrarium, especially with all the little suction cups. You can mount it around the outer edge of your aquarium, and then have it work from there. But what a cool little humidifier system for your terrarium, or like even hook it up to your plants. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.